Yes, Commission, we have a second work session presentation. That is going to be presented by our Community Development Director, Logan Cobbs, and it's an update on the city's vacant property registry. So I'll let Logan get set up, and then we will begin.
Are we ready? Mayor Rue, Commissioners, good evening. My name is Logan Cobbs, Director of Community Development, and we're here to talk about the vacant property registry, some proposed ordinance updates, and then some additional legislation that will be before all of you this evening. So, a brief overview. The vacant property registry was established in January of 2020. What is the vacant property registry? What is its purpose? So the purpose is to reduce and prevent neighborhood blight, to avoid the creation and maintenance of public nuisances, to ameliorate conditions that threaten the public health, safety, and welfare, to promote neighborhood stability and occupancy by preserving the condition and appearance of residential properties and the worth and activity of commercial and industrial properties, and to maintain property values and assessments. I took that directly from Chapter 1380 of the proposed ordinance updates. But what does that mean? So it essentially means that this program aims to identify and register vacant properties, both residential, commercial, and industrial, within our community. The VPR is important because it really aids us in documenting ownership of properties, has the potential to prevent crime, and really helps us as a city identify problematic properties in our community. So it just gives us a better understanding of the extent of issues in our community. A little bit of data here. We transition to the next slide. So it really puts things in perspective where we were in December of 2020. And I do want to state that of those 722 unregistered vacant properties, 171 of those had deceased owners. So that really adds another layer of complexity to it, to some of these cases as we work with the Treasurer's Office through those. Fast forward to December of 2022, you can see that the team really made great progress in addressing our vacant residential structures. Most notably, we saw a 15% decrease in the total number of vacants and saw a considerable increase in registrations as well. As we transition to what we're here to talk about today, here's the high-level overview of our current ordinance. So this states that, and this is specifically talking to residential properties, this states that properties are vacant after 90 days. There is an annual registration fee of $100. There's a Class A fine for non-registration. And the owner or registered agent must maintain an office here in Ohio. That's what the ordinance says today. And keep in mind that a Class A fine is $50. What will be before you this evening as a first reading is to add both commercial and industrial properties to our existing ordinance. We're seeking to increase the residential registration fee to $125 annually. That's a $25 increase. to add construction registration fee to the ordinance, and that would be $300 semi-annually. That's $600 annually specifically for commercial structures. To increase the civil fine from a Class A to a Class B for non-registration, that would be $100. And then we also added in the 250 miles from City Hall. So ultimately, that would provide some additional flexibility and latitude, and really makes it more expansive. So property owners could be in Kentucky, they could be in Indy, Pennsylvania, Illinois, within that 250 mile radius. They don't necessarily have to be in the state of Ohio. So I'm sure you're thinking that it's quite a difference between residential and commercial property registration rates. So commission and the community, I really want to stress that commercial vacant properties really are, can be much more detrimental to our community for a variety of reasons. They often sit empty for longer periods of time, leading to economic decline. They can reduce property values and decrease tax revenue as well. They also create dead zones in business districts, as we've seen in our downtown here. And that really discourages foot traffic and investment while increasing both crime and blight. So unlike residential properties, a lot of commercial, unlike residential properties, which may be kind of sporadically occupied, vacant commercial structures often deteriorate more rapidly, and that really makes revitalization efforts really challenging and costly. I do want to speak specifically to what's considered a vacant property. In our proposed ordinance, there's kind of a 30, 60, 90-day rule that applies here that I think will make it easy for the community to remember. So after 30 days, a commercial structure is considered vacant. After 60 days, a multifamily residential structure is considered vacant. And after 90 days, a residential structure is considered vacant. I see Tom Franzen over there, our Assistant City Manager, Director of Economic Development. He had a great question when we discussed this as a team. And he said, so Logan, after 30 days, a residential property owner has to register their property. And that is not the case. But it was a really good question. And the owner of commercial structures have 60 days to register their property from the time that it becomes vacant. And residential property owners have 30 days from the time that it becomes vacant. So we understand that this is very, very much a cyclical process. So we built in time for properties to transfer, for owners to make upgrades, for selling or renting. So moving on to HERA Property Registry. So in 2022 ProChamps, which was our former registration software, they did file for bankruptcy. So that left us That left us without a reliable tracking system and really limited our access to our existing data. And as a result of that, our vacant property registry program has largely stalled. So reliable software really is essential for our program as it ensures accurate tracking, seamless data management, and easy registration for our end users, for the community. So that will also allow us to identify and address vacant properties a little bit more efficiently than what we're currently utilizing in spreadsheets. So our preferred vendor is HERA Property Registry. They're based out of Melbourne, Florida, and they'll essentially run the database for us. So they'll send out the notice of obligation to register. They'll maintain the portal. They'll work through billing, really the admin side of the work, whereas our team will still maintain inspecting of properties, issuing of any orders, and issuing of fines for non-registration. They will also be available to answer any questions that the community has. So both of these items, both the proposed updates to our ordinance and the agreement entering into a contract with HERA Property Registry, will be before you all today as a first reading. So as I wrap up, I do want to assure the community that as we make Thank you, Regina. As we make transitions, the Community Development Department will be available for any and all questions and to really walk our community through the updates here. The team has some very ambitious goals for 2025 when it comes to inspections and registrations for this registry, so we're excited to get started. So.
Excellent work. Comments from commissioners? Dr. Estrop?
Thank you for the report tonight, Logan. I appreciate it. Is there any way we can get back to the proposed ordinances on the slide? I want to begin by thanking the Housing Consortium, which is a group of individuals, organizations, government agencies that went together now, how long has it been? 6, 7 years ago to start the process of looking at the issue of vacant properties in this city. And with the help of the Greater Ohio Policy Center, one of the recommendations was the establishment of the vacant property registry. And I'm glad to see it now going to incorporate commercial and industrial properties. One of the questions I got asked was, you mean if I own a business, I'm going to have to pay money to register my business? No. Only if you, as a business owner, if that property is vacant, that's what you have to register. This is vacant commercial property. So, that building over there needs to be registered if we pass this. That building over there needs to be registered if we pass this. 2 buildings down High Street need to be registered if we pass this. It's about vacant buildings that must be registered with the city. I'm also glad to see us increasing the civil fine for non-registration. Personally, I'd like to bump it even higher, but that's my own personal opinion, because I want people to be accountable for the structures they own in this city, both residential and commercial, if they're vacant. So thank you very much for your report. It looks like we're making some progress in this area. This, coupled with the receivership program, is making a difference. We're saving some great old homes. We're getting rid of some safety and eyesores in our community, and we are holding the owners properly accountable for their facilities. Thank you.
Dr. Estrop? Commissioner?
Thank you for presenting tonight. I just have 2 questions. I think I saw they have 180 other customers. Are any of them similar size to Springfield, like with a similar and any success rates?
I do believe that there are some municipalities that they're working with, keeping in mind they only work with municipalities that are similar in size. Would have to get those specifics, but I did ask recently if they're working with any other customers in the state of Ohio, and they do have one other partner that they're working with.
And then I guess my next question piggybacks off of that. Would the fee increases be similar to what other cities of our size kind of have done?
So funny enough, I asked them what was the average price. We have $125 for residential and $300 semi-annually for commercial. And they did say that just across their 180 customers, that all of them were around $600 annually for both residential and commercial. So the fees that we're looking to move forward with are on the lower side of what AIR is seeing across the country.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner?
As someone who's had a business in downtown Springfield for 11 years and seen the progress down here, I'm really happy to see this progress and moving forward and addressing all the vacancies in the community, but especially commercial. So thank you for being ambitious around this. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn the work session?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown,
Yes.
Dr. Estrop,
Yes.
Mrs. Houston,
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett,
Yes.
Mr. Rue.
Yes.